Welcome to Gentle Yoga. This is Leo Ray on behalf of Kristen Olson's Urban Yoga Center, Palm Springs. You can visit us online at urbanyoga.org or Kristen Olson's Urban Yoga Center on Facebook to check out the schedule of classes, stop by the tip jar to make contributions to support our donation-based online classes. And you can also, if you're watching us on YouTube, subscribe to the YouTube channel for us. That helps us out, boost those YouTube numbers. We'll start out today on our backs, and you can start out with your feet planted and your knees leaning in towards each other, or if you'd rather, your feet together and your knees pointing out. If you do that one, you could have the blocks under the outside of your knees. Maybe you just rather lie flat. You can start class in Shavasana just as we end class in Shavasana. If you like to, close your eyes. Do what you like with your hands. It might rest on the floor or rest on your body. Maybe feel your heartbeat, feel the movement of your breath, maybe one hand to feel each. Getting comfortable. Notice your breath, slowing down and getting deeper. As you're doing that, I'm just stepping away. There's a fan that's oscillating, it's making this tapestry behind me go back and forth. I'm sure that makes for some distracting visuals, so we'll stop that. Taking in the movements of your breath and the sensation of those movements. Scan your body, taking in whatever other sensations are there. Noting in particular anything that doesn't feel good. We were talking before class about some specific trouble spots. Noting any troubling sensations at the beginning of practice can help us during practice. Remembering that we can skip or modify anything. So sometimes I offer modifications, different options, but you're always welcome to go off script. Listen to your body. What your body is telling you is most of the time more important than what I'm telling you. Almost always. There's always another way to do something. There's always something that can be done instead. If you wish to set any more personal, specific intention for your own practice today, you can do that now. With our intentions in place, let's share 3 deep cleansing breaths. Breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth with a sigh. Now, if you're in the position I'm in with your feet together and your knees pointing out, bring your hands to your legs, let your arms lift your knees towards each other. Let the soles of your feet rest on the mat. If you try to lift your legs out of that position, just using the legs themselves, you can strain things here. We have a couple of folks sharing that they wanted some attention to hamstrings today, some tight hamstrings going on. So we'll incorporate that as one of our points of focus. What can we do to lengthen the hamstrings? So we're not there yet. I'm just mentioning that at the beginning. It's something we'll be doing some focusing on. First, draw your knees towards your chest, hug your knees. Inhale, extend your arms and legs all the way out.
Exhale, curl up in a ball. And just continue at the pace of your breath. Now, actually, this full body movement does use the hamstrings as we extend the legs and draw them back in. We're using the hamstrings, the back of the thighs, and the quadriceps, the front of the thighs. And it's good to pay attention to both, even if only one is, say, giving you trouble or discomfort. Muscles work in opposing pairs. So when your hamstrings feel tight, they could be locked short in a contracted way, or they could be locked long and stuck in the open position. So it's a good thing to remember and be mindful of. If a muscle is locked long in the open position, all the stretching in the world will not make it feel better. What you need to do then is unlock the opposing short muscles. So sometimes the way to address tight hamstrings is to unlock tight quadriceps. So let's now go to our straps. We often do a sequence with the strap at the end of practice. Sometimes it's nice to do it near the beginning. And this will start to get into some of the hamstring. You're going to open the strap and run it under your feet and hold one end in each hand. Now, we do this in a lot of my classes. We don't specifically talk about hamstring, but it's one of the things that we work on here. Reach your arms and legs up, stay grounded in the back of your head, both shoulder blades and your sacrum. Point your toes up. You probably feel that mostly in your calves. Point your toes down. Maybe there you feel the hamstring stretch. Quadriceps engagement. So here, hamstrings are long, quads are short. Flex your feet back and forth a few times and just feel into that. What are your calves doing? What are your hamstrings doing? What are your quadriceps doing? Slide your feet apart now and just take a couple breaths here. So as we go into different positions, different angles, we'll work on all the different parts. The outer part of the muscle, the middle, the inner. Quadriceps has 4 different parts to it. That's why it's called quadriceps. 4 bellies. Sep means belly. Has to do with the shape of the skeletal muscle. Draw on the strap to draw your feet back together. Don't worry, we're not going to get too technical. But we know an anatomy test or anything here. Take the left foot out of your strap, press the back of your left leg to the floor, flex your left foot back towards you. Now we're going to keep that leg engaged as we play with moving the other leg. Hold the strap in your left hand, reach your right arm out to the side, keep your shoulder blades grounded, draw your leg to the left, turn your head to the right. Now really pay attention to how this feels in your head, your glutes and hamstring, and just move the leg to where it feels good for you. So maybe that means going further, maybe that means backing off. So take care of yourself, don't force anything, and we're not going to do the version where we spend 2 minutes in each position. I'm counting roughly 10 breaths, which is less than 1 minute. How does it keep talking and counting breaths? Well, it's a gift. It takes a lot of practice. I'm approximately counting breaths because, when you're talking, you're exhaling. But in between, you're inhaling, of course. Bring it all back to center. That wasn't so bad. That wasn't so long. Take the strap in your right hand. Press your left hand down on the front of your left hip bone. Let your limbs fall open to the right. Now here I'll note that if it doesn't feel good to have your leg hanging in the air, you can put a block under the outside of your leg. Now this can be a little tricky, I'll demonstrate it. I'm switching the strap into my left hand, I'm grabbing my block with my right hand, and then I go over here so that I have leg support. Because sometimes it just doesn't feel good to have the leg hanging in the air. Over time, I've gotten to the point where I really like how that feels, but when I was newer, at doing this particular movement. I did rather enjoy that option of having the block under the leg. With practice, you can figure out where the angle of your leg is going to be when it goes over it, put the block down in advance. But it takes some practice to get the block in the right area. Nice and gently come back to center, really letting the strap and the arm do most of the work. Lift your left leg, step into the strap, take your right foot out, press the right leg down. We're going to keep the right foot flexed back. Extend the left arm out. Draw your leg to the right and turn your head to the left. Again, just going as far as it feels okay, going where your body needs the stretching. Only so much as it feels helpful. Come on, back up to center. Take the strap with your left hand, press down in the front of your right hip, let your limbs fall to the left. And if you want, get that block and put it under the outside of that leg. Nice and easy, come back, up to center. Raise your right leg, draw your knees in, and set your strap aside. Rock side to side or roll in circles, massage your back against the floor. And we'll start to sit up. Two ways to do that. You can switch the rocking and go front to back. Or if that doesn't feel good, just tip gently onto one side. Press your hands to the floor. Use your arms to sit up that way. Now let's start at the bottom with feet and the legs here, since hamstring is part of our focus today. Lift the leg, hold your toes, interlace your fingers between your toes. Let the arms and the hands do the work. Roll your foot in circles. And change direction. Release your toes, support the weight of your whole leg, both arms, and move your leg in circles. So here we're rocking the femur and the hip side. This is more about the joints than the muscles. The hamstrings involved, but it's not really stretching at all here. Here your hamstrings are shortened and pretty relaxed. Change direction. Here your hamstring, your quadricep is also pretty relaxed, though it's longer. So sort of median, middle position for both. Switch legs, and yes, you can always, as you're doing this, maybe take one hand and massage your leg. I like that modification there. I saw someone massaging a sore hamstring. Grabbing your toes. We'll make some circles with this foot in each direction, as we did with the other one. Changing direction.
Release the toes, cradle the leg, make those circles for your head. And change direction. Regardless of what we focus on for any given practice, it's a full body practice. We don't want to neglect anything because we're bringing in a specific focus. Now let that leg down, get comfortable in your seat. Let your arms hang limp at your sides. Lift your left shoulder up, slide it back, let it down, and your right shoulder up, back, down. Like your chin come down towards your chest. And now circles for the neck. Move your head slowly and gently in circles. Pausing as needed if there's a tight spot or more than one tight spot. You can rock back and forth at those tight spots and help them out. Changing direction. And when you finish the next circle, lift your chin, look forward, bring your arms out to the sides, rest your fingertips on the floor, stay long in your spine. Inhale, raise your left arm up alongside your ear, palm facing to the right. Exhale, reach across to the right palm, curving towards the floor, lean into the right hand, let your head be wherever your neck feels okay. Inhale to come up. Exhale, come into a twist. Left hand on the floor behind you in line with your spine. Right hand on your left leg. Inhale, lengthen up. Exhale, twist some more. Let yourself unwind, come back. Inhale, raise your right arm. And exhale, reach to the left. Inhale to come upright. Exhale, come into your other seated twist. Inhale, lengthen up. And exhale, twist some more. Let yourself unwind. Make your way up onto your hands and knees. Reach back, press into the ball of your left foot. Flex your foot to rock forward and back. And like we were doing when we were on our back playing with the strap, notice what's going on in each place, the hip, the glutes, the quadriceps, the hamstrings, the calf, and even the foot. Now see what I'm doing with the foot
If you can, if it feels okay, when you come forward, rock onto the top of your toes. Press the top of your foot against the floor. And just see how big a movement you can get. So just extending the range of this rocking back and forth. And you can even, as you pause with the heel back, maybe wiggle the heel back and forth. And as you pause with the tops of the toes pressed on the floor, maybe turn the leg. Just see how that feels. Where do you feel the tightness? Where can you spend an extra breath or two? Help ease something out, right? Maybe you don't have a specific tightness going on there. That's great. Now let's pause here now. Pressing against the ball of the foot. Inhale, reach your right arm forward, thumb pointing up. If you want to go further on your next inhale, pick your left foot up, reach straight back in the air. And to go even further, if you like, bend your knee, reach back, grab your foot or your ankle, kick against your hand, lift your knee, lift your chin. Release, lower down. Take a few cow cat breaths. Inhale, bring your heart forward, let your head and tailbone move up. Exhale, bring your heart up, let your head and tailbone come down. After your next exhale, come back to your table, reach back, press into the ball of your right foot, and start to explore that rocking. When you start small, be gentle with any tight spots you're feeling into, not forcing anything open, gradually finding more ease, finding more length, more openness, wherever it's needed. Maybe you find something, some tightness you didn't know was there. Maybe it's a toe. You don't think about it much. There's muscles in those toes. They're small. They're pretty short, but they're there. Just as sure as there are tiny bones in there. Tendons, ligaments, cartilage. It's all moving around. It all can sometimes give us trouble. And back to where we started here with the leg extended, pressing into the ball of the foot. Inhale, reach your left arm forward. If you like, pick your left foot up, your right foot up, reach straight back. Don't try to pick up both feet. That's not going to work. If you want, bend your knee, reach back, take that. Fine. So this is a deeper quadricep stretch here. And then shoulder opening, release, and lower down, take some cow cat breaths. Coming back to your table. Now we're going to step forward. You can bring blocks under your hands here if you like. Step one foot forward and then the other. Well, knee and forward. Keep the hands under your blocks. Keep the blocks under your hands. Having trouble with words today. You can keep blocks under your hands. Now, when something's tight in the back of the legs, might be your lower back, might be your hamstring, you can help yourself out by using a support like this. So my arms are doing a lot here to support me. You can use the blocks on any height, and then I'm better able to regulate what I'm doing with my legs and my back. So that can help us find just enough stretch without finding too much. Playing with the edge of the comfort zone. You don't have to use blocks, you can set them aside. You can sway back and forth with or without your blocks. Bend one leg to the other, maybe a little, maybe a lot. Think of building poses from the ground up. So if you go from forward fold to standing up, think first feet, then legs, then back, like just stacking things from the ground up. First, let's inhale, lift just halfway up. Press your hands to your shins, feel the crown of your head move forward. So that begins with action in the feet, and then the lower legs, and then the upper legs. Exhale, relax down, use the legs a lot. Inhale, roll to standing, hands overhead, palms together. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, reach out to the sides. Exhale, reach for your shoulder blades and hug yourself, or if you like, take eagle arms. Then reach forward with hands and elbows if you're taking eagle. Inhale to open up. As you exhale, cross the opposite way. Inhale to open up. Exhale, twist to the left. Inhale, come through center. Exhale, twist to the right. Inhale, come through center. Exhale, arms down. Inhale, out and up. Interlace your fingers, turn your palms up, reach your palms up. Look up at your hands, lift up your heart. Inhale to come upright. Exhale to bend to the right. Inhale to come up through center. As you exhale, bend to the left. Inhale to come up. Exhale, arms down. Inhale, out and up. Exhale, fold forward. Now we're going to do a hamstring exploration. Bend your knees a lot, let your belly hand against your thighs. Reach your arms behind your legs and hold your elbows in your hands. So we're really folded up here. It restricts breathing, just let the breath keep flowing. The breaths won't be as deep, and that's okay. Now, just to the degree that feels all right for you, nice and gradually, very slowly, lengthen your legs. We're not going to straighten them, at least I don't think anybody's gonna. I'm not gonna. Lengthening the legs. So first it's the calves, then it's the hamstring. And just breathe. So it's a pretty deep bind. It's a very neat trick for lengthening hamstrings. One of my anatomy teachers in yoga teacher training that taught us this one and explained something about a change at the cellular level in the muscles by holding this position. Some of the internal structure of the muscle cell, the Golgi bodies, inside each cell are actually lengthening. Imagine that. Each cell in the hamstring is getting longer from the inside out just because you're doing this funny back. We just spent half a minute here, and a half a minute maybe feels like a long time. Release your hands, let them hang. Now, subsequent forward folds should be easier and deeper because we did that. It's nice to just take this pause. I'm leaning into my hands, taking the load off my legs. Inhale, lift halfway up again. Exhale down. I feel a big difference. Inhale all the way up, hands overhead. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale, half lift. Exhale down. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale, half lift. Exhale down. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, hands up arms. Let's play a little bit here with the legs from this standing posture. Lift your left heel. Come up on the ball of your foot, maybe come up on your toes. Let it down, and then lift the right heel. Maybe even lift the ball of the foot and come up on the toes. Let it down. So you can play with going back and forth if you want a little more challenge. Play with lifting both heels. Come up on the balls of your feet. I don't think anybody's going to come up on their toes here. If you feel very daring, you might play with lifting the ball of one foot, come up on those toes, lower it, come up on the ball of the other foot. I'm not a ballerina, I'm not going to suddenly stand on my toes. And sometimes, yep, they go too far and I just fall, that's okay. So maybe just up and down like this is better. Lift both heels, lower. Lift both heels, lower. Play with any of that. Any variation for a few more breaths. Maybe it's one at a time, maybe you like doing them together. It feels to me that when I do one at a time, I notice it more in my calves, but when I come up on both, I can feel it more in the upper legs. That's an interesting thing to notice. Always gathering information, learning about how these bodies of ours function. What are they telling us? Okay, coming back to flat feet. Inhale, out and up. Exhale, full forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Step back to plank. Now here in plank, if you need a shorter plank, you can let your knees down. From a longer plank, you could play with a little rocking back and forth like we did earlier, 1 foot at a time. Maybe you do both feet, maybe you sort of tip into a cobra, but listen to your lower back, maybe that's too much. And if you're on your knees, you can still rock forward and back a bit. Just bringing your heart forward and back. That would look like this. And let's lower all the way down to the floor. Press into your hands, inhale, lift your head and chest. And as I was just saying, listen to your low back and just go to the height that's okay for your lower back. Exhale, rock back and up to downward facing dog. Pedal your feet up and down. So downward dog is great for lengthening the entire back of the body, but feel into your hamstrings. Of course you feel it in other places. I can't help but feel this in my calves and my feet and my shoulders. And maybe play with a little tipping side to side with the hips. How does that feel in the hamstrings? On the outer, on the inner, on the middle. Inhale, bend your knees, look forward. Exhale, step forward. Inhale, lift, halfway up. Exhale, down. Inhale, all the way up. Exhale, hands to your arms. Inhale, up. Exhale, down. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, down. Step back to plank. When you're ready, exhale, lower halfway or all the way. Inhale to bring your heart forward. Exhale, back and up. Inhale, bend your knees, look forward. Exhale, step forward. Inhale, lift that weight. Exhale down. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Now, for some more standing exploration of hamstrings, we're going to play with extended hand to big toe pose, it's called. And maybe use a strap for this. Now, maybe you can do it without the strap, and maybe you want to step over by the wall or a steadying piece of furniture, something you can grab onto. Because we're going to be standing on one leg with whatever support we use. So let's start with the strap version. Sometimes it just makes more sense to start with the more accessible version and show you the more challenging one after. So pull both ends of the strap in one hand. Step on the strap with your left foot so it's under the ball of your foot. Maybe even past the ball of your foot, more towards the middle. Bring your right hand by your heart. Shift the weight to your right leg, don't lock that knee. And then draw on the strap and lift your left knee. So maybe you need to take up some of the slack. You could wrap it around your hand like that. Reach your foot forward. To whatever degree feels okay. I'm not straightening my leg at all, I'm just lengthening it. And then bring it out to the side. See, now you can really see that leg's not straight and it's not gonna be, and that's okay. And if you feel steady enough with that, you can reach this right hand out to the side like this. So there's quite a hamstring stretch. And it's quite a challenge too. Be glad you don't have to talk while you're doing it, because it does make it more challenging. And you can start over as many times as needed. Sometimes they don't stay up this long. And when it's time to come out, see how gradually you might come out. So if you have the right hand extended, bring it back to your heart, just rewind everything. Bring the leg forward, and then bend the knee. And maybe let it down gently, and shake things out. Woo! Not just a hamstring stretch, pretty challenging balance there. And from what I saw, some pretty steady yogis. So when you're ready, step on the strap with your right foot. Bring your left hand to your heart. Shift the weight to your left leg. Raise your right knee, maybe take up the slack. When you're ready, reach that right foot forward. And maybe you just stay right there. Maybe you bring the right foot out to the side. And maybe you reach the left arm out. And maybe you fall. If you fall, you're human. If you get up, you're a yogi. Keep breathing. Very important to keep breathing. Yes, and I love the seated variation. That's a great modification. Sure, maybe you're not up for standing on one leg some days, even with the wall or furniture to grab onto. You can still get a great hamstring stretch playing with extending the leg forward and then maybe to the side. And let's come out and shake it out and have a seat, because now, boy, you can just wear your legs out doing that, huh? And we want to leave time for some cooling down, of course. And Shavasana, the most important posture, the integration phase of practice. So, a posture we do in most classes, most of my classes, extend your legs forward, flex feet back, very common, seated forward fold, long hamstrings. Maybe that's not what you noticed when you did this before, but focusing on it today, feel that. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold down. Now you don't have to keep those hamstrings glued to the mat. If your knees need to bend, let them bend. Your hamstrings will still be lengthened even if some bend comes into the knees. Inhale, think of coming forward. Exhale, think of lowering down. Try to let your breath do the work. If you want some gentle guiding help here, you can use your arms, grabbing your legs or feet. You can use a strap, moved over your feet. Strap in your hands can be a nice thing here. Just don't force anything. So maybe it's okay to take some traction. Maybe it's okay to take up on it. But don't force anything. Just listen to your body. Only you know where the edge is. Just exploring and breathing. Maybe a nice shoulder stretch too if you get into feeling a bind, if that works for you. Make sure your neck is passive, your head is just now hanging down. Inhaling, walk your hands up the front of your legs and sit up. Nudge those legs apart. Use your arms to open your legs to whatever degree feels okay. So this will feel inner part of the hamstrings. Walk your hands down your legs. Now, if it doesn't feel good anywhere to reach your hands down your legs like that, you could just rest your hands on the mat and walk them forward. You could have a block under your hands here and lay on the block. Bring your left hand over to your right hand. And just take a couple of breaths. Bring the left hand back over to the left leg or left foot. Take a couple of breaths. And bring your right hand over to your left hand. And notice this shift in your legs. When you move your arms and you twist your torso. Now I'm feeling more stretched with my right leg than my left. Go back and forth. Right hand over to the right. Couple breaths. Left hand over to the right. Couple breaths. Left hand back to the left. Take a couple breaths. And right hand over to the left for a couple of breaths. Bring your right hand back to the right. Walk your hands up your legs and sit up. Use your arms, nudge your legs towards each other. Bring the soles of your feet together. Knees out. Leave space between heels and pelvis. Maybe you started in this leg shape. Reaching over or under your ankles, walk your hands forward on the mat. Breathe into your back. Let your head hang down. So if your quads and hamstrings are in that mid-range, neither very short nor very long, letting them relax. So we enjoy some release in the lower back. Walk your hands back and sit up. Bring your feet in closer. Interlace your fingers and grab your toes in your hands. Wriggle on your seat. Tilt your pelvis forward. Wriggle, wriggle. Inhale, lengthen up. Exhale, hinge forward. Long spine. Wherever that stops lowering, let your head lower, breathe into your hips.
Now, this can be a place where you feel a good amount of sensation on the inner thighs. Medial edge of the hamstring. And if you press your arms against your legs, you can deepen that stretch if that feels good. Some people like to press their arms to the inside of the legs here, some don't. Depending on where your arms land, you might even be massaging your hamstrings with your elbows. Play with that, moving the arms a bit. Just letting the neck stay passive. Maybe that's too much, maybe the hamstrings are tender, maybe that feels good for you. Maybe after practice, you'll use your hands for a more thorough leg massage. Can be very nice for practice to just do a rub down on whatever muscles were stiff at the beginning, maybe still stiff at the end, that's possible. Inhale, lift up. Bring your hands to the outsides of your knees, lift your knees towards each other. Rest your hands on the floor back here. Wiggle your feet out by the edges of your mat. Let your knees go to the right, turn your head to the left. Knees to the left, head to the right. Now, depending on how you're feeling, if you want a bigger movement here, you could, as your knees go right, lift your left hand, left hip, and then lower down. Inhale when you lift up. If you're doing this, you don't have to do this, maybe it's just the knees going back. And bring your feet in about hip width apart. Two fists next to each other. At the tops of your feet is the width of your hip sockets or a block on the middle position. Bring your hands behind you. Scoot your butt towards your heels. One to your forearms, one to your back. With your heels in, close to your butt. Put a block between your knees if you like on the middle position. Press into the soles of your feet. Inhale, lift your hips up to bridge. If you want a deeper heart opener here, you can clasp your hands, extend your knuckles towards your heels, wiggle your shoulder blades in towards each other. If you're clasping your hands, let them go. Exhaling slowly, let your hips down. Float up and down a few times at your own pace. Go as slow as you want, go as high as you want, just let the breath keep flowing. Next time you lift up, pause at the top of that movement and slide the other block under your sacrum for supported bridge. Let yourself come to rest on the block. If you don't have the block, use what you do have. It could be a bolster, some pillows, folded or rolled blanket or towel, maybe a foam roller, maybe a spare yoga mat all rolled up.
Press into the soles of your feet. Inhale, lift your hips up. Slide the props up from underneath. Exhale slowly, lower down. Pausing a moment after we touch down. Move props out of the way. Draw your knees towards your chest, hug your knees. Rock and roll to massage your back against the floor. Plant your left foot. Cross your right knee over your left knee. Now this can be a pretty deep feeling twist. So if you want less sensation in the twist, maybe you don't feel like going deeper, you could cross your ankle over your knee instead. Reach your arms out to the sides. Also, the closer your knees are to your torso as you twist in the supine twist, the deeper it feels. So maybe you keep the left foot on the floor, let your legs fall to the left as you turn your head to the right, or if you want, you could lift your heel or lift your whole foot, draw your knees in closer. You decide, but keep your shoulders grounded as you come into your twist. As your breath brings you out, just thinking of sending your breath to wherever the most sensation is showing up. Think of breathing in ease and breathing out tension. Bring everything back up through center and cross your legs the opposite way. When you're ready, twist the opposite way. Legs go left and head goes right. No, legs go right, head goes left. Huh. Bring everything back up to center. Uncross your legs. Draw your knees in. Reach your feet up. Reach your hands up. Grab your legs or grab your feet. Play with bending and straightening your arms and legs. Whatever movement feels good. If you're craving a little more hamstring stretching, one more opportunity here. You can play with inverted gorilla pose. You could reach your hands under the front of the feet, maybe bringing the tips of your toes to your wrist creases, and extend your legs. Maybe even play with plow pose. So happy baby is the first inversion. You could be doing this gorilla on her back, or maybe you tip back like that. Maybe you invert in some other way. Not quite a plow pose, but it's very similar to a plow pose. The great thing to remember about practice is it doesn't have to just be about a specific named pose. exploring movement. And for as long as you like, how long do you want to explore? Explore any other movements that you like before you make your way to Shavasana, your final resting phase, resting posture. As you find your comfortable stillness, whatever that looks like for you. Maybe just focusing on your breath. Or focusing on the intention you set for yourself. Or giving yourself permission to not focus. Start taking some deeper breaths. And moving around little by little. Letting your movements gradually get bigger and bigger. When you're ready for bigger movements, take your time to gently sit up. There's no rush. Savor that relaxation. And you don't have to sit up. You can just keep savoring relaxation where you are. Bring your hands to your heart if you want.
Thank you for sharing your practice today. The light within me sees and honors that same light within you. Namaste. Have a great day, everyone. See you next time. Hope your hamstrings are better.